So have the students arrived?
We aren't hearing you now.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Have the students arrived?
You can go ahead.
Okay, great. Then today, would anyone like to guess what we'll be learning about?
Dynamic writing?
Well, yes, this series is called Writing Dynamic, actually, very good. And today we will be learning about inspirations for writing. In other words, how to get ideas for our writing and how to turn those and how to use them in our writing. So here is our presentation, Inspirations for Writing. And first I would like to briefly introduce myself. My name's Adorasvitak. I'm the author of Flying Fingers, Master the Tools of Learning Through the Joy of Writing, and this is a book that I published at the age of 7. More recently, I've been working on a project called Dancing Fingers, and this is my second book. It is a collection of poetry from both me and my older sister, Adriana. So that is my most recent book, and that is actually its advanced copy. So we've been pretty busy lately, and now I do quite a few video conferences. I've done probably over 150 conferences now, so and I'm very glad to be able to have this conference with you. So you are in Wisconsin, right? Okay, very good. Yes, I will actually be visiting Milwaukee in, let's see, February. So I might get the chance to learn a little more about Wisconsin. And yes, you are in Medford, right?
Yes.
Yes, I read a little bit online about Medford, and it was very interesting. So today we will, let's continue with the presentation, and we will talk a little bit about how where we live can give us ideas for stories and articles as well. So I see that you all have paper and pencil. That is very good. So I will encourage you to take notes throughout this presentation. So whenever you see a slide up, you can take some quick notes on whatever you think is important, or just on whatever I'm saying. Yes, if you like. Okay, so now continuing on with the presentation. So number 1, observe. This is my first tip, observed. Would anyone like to tell me what observe means?
Anyone? Okay, Mariah. Study?
Study? Well, not quite. You're partially correct. When we're observing someone, we might be learning a little bit about that person or thing. When we look around and notice the things going on, we're observing. So looking carefully, drawing conclusions from the things that we see. To observe means to see or know something, especially while watching carefully. Observing can help us get ideas from simple things that we've noticed. And who would like to tell me about something they've observed today? So, what's something you've seen today? Interesting.
Well, Cora.
Well, I watched my fish in the fish tank to see how they act.
You watched a fish in a fish tank to see how they acted. Very good. Okay, that is an excellent example. So if any of you have pets, let me see a show of hands. If you have pets, then you can raise your hand. Okay, very good. So it seems like a lot of you have pets, and pets can be great inspirations, and animals in general can be great inspirations for stories, poems, articles, because they often act in very interesting ways, and there are lots of diverse different kinds of animals, so they can be wonderful. We can get a lot of ideas from them. Okay, very good. Who else would like to tell me about something or someone they've observed today?
David?
I kind of found out about my pet and how she lives.
Okay, so you found out about your pet and how she lived. Okay, very good. So what kind of pet is your pet? Like, is it dog or cat or fish? Or...
David, what kind of pet do you have?
A dog.
Oh, a dog. Okay, very nice. Yes. A lot of people have dogs as pets. Okay, so we can watch dogs and see how they act now. Let's try to think of something maybe that doesn't have to do with pets, and just it can be anything. So that's a very good idea.
Alex?
I watched Camera Shutter to try to understand how it can
watching a camera shutter. And that is definitely a very interesting thing to observe because cameras are very interesting devices, and they're really very useful as well for capturing different kinds of things. So that is an interesting one. You can describe that as well in writing very well. Okay, wonderful. So now I want you to look around your classroom. What do you see? Now narrow your focus. Find an object like a globe or potted plant, or a person like your teacher to focus on. Now observe the object or person. What can you tell me about them? You can raise your hand. So just from observing, from looking around. Any ideas?
Oh, what are you observing?
Garbage can.
And what do you see about the garbage can?
It's dirty.
You see, sorry?
Cole said he sees a garbage can.
Ah, a garbage can. Very good. Okay, so observing a garbage can, you might think, oh, how can I use that for a story? Well, interestingly enough, garbage can really be quite an inspiration. And I'm not really advising you to do this too much, but if you just peek at what's in the garbage can, maybe you just threw away a wrapper from a candy or something like that, then you can think, who made the garbage can? Where is the garbage going? I mean, like, most likely a landfill, but you could write about a landfill if you wanted. So that's very interesting. By asking yourself questions like that, you can really get farther. So maybe, let's say, who's taking the garbage and where are they taking it? Then you could answer both questions, and you could maybe write a story called The Journey of Garbage, which, then again, that sounds a little funny, but it would be interesting. Okay, very good. So who would like to tell me about another thing they've observed?
Lexi, how about you?
Me? The American flag.
The American flag, very good. So, and that is an excellent one because, when you look at the American flag, you can talk about a variety of things, how you feel when you see it, what it reminds you of, and maybe you could write an article about the history of the American flag and like how we have and how we have all the stars there and why it looks like it does and who came up with the idea for it, how it looks, and so that would be a very interesting historical article. It would be educational about the history of the American flag. Okay, very good. And let's see, would anyone else like to share?
How about Carter?
The fire extinguisher.
The fire extinguisher, that is a nice one. Yes, and fire extinguisher is a very bright red, and when I look at a fire extinguisher, I sometimes think of peppers just because of that red color. And so you could think about things that are that red, or you could look at a fire extinguisher and write a story about firemen and fighting fires, or someone whose house catches on fire, or maybe a heroic dog who barks at the people to get out of a house that's on fire. That happens quite a bit, I've heard. So all those would be interesting topics. Very good. And one more.
Alex?
The clock.
The clock. Okay, so the clock on the wall. That is an excellent one. Okay, so we can look at the clock, and maybe that would get me thinking myself about a story of an evil magician who tries to stop all the clocks in the world so no one knows what time it is. Or maybe it makes me think about a very old clockmaker who fixes watches and clocks, or it could make me write a poem about time. So all of those are good ideas. Now, I'd like to display how I can get ideas. So I have a few objects over here, like a globe, a map. Yes, there's a large geographic props over here. A vase of some kind of wilted flowers, some like stuffed animals and dolls, etc. Okay, so let's say, looking at the map, maybe I'm having trouble thinking of a setting for a story. And a setting is the time and place where, the time and place where a story is located. So maybe I spin this globe, and then wherever my finger lands, let's see, it landed in Newfoundland, Canada, which might be an interesting place to set a story.